Thank you, Diana, for inviting me today to hold this speech. So, just to get to know me, where I come from, he told the academic stuff and where I'm working, but I'm volunteering in my free time. I'm working for Model European Union Zagreb, the project that I'll present today. And as you all know, that I'm IRS 214 generation, and I attended so far 13 or 14 simulations, either as a chairperson, either as a participant, or as an organizer. Also, these simulations of negotiations, these were Model United Nations, Model European Union, Model just negotiations. So negotiations and simulations are my enthusiasm. And I'm also accepting the role of a groom at weddings as well, because in Morocco I was a groom at a wedding with 250 people and I married a nice Algerian woman. But it's not for real. So now I'll present the project that I organized. Teamwork and active individuals will be the core. Why? How we transform the local students' debate into our international recognized conference that is taking place now in more than 15 countries around Europe. And we will, throughout this presentation, we'll just go through the Model European Union concept. We will discuss, or I'll present the simulation concept and the organizing process. And I'll try to present to you the conclusions, the evolution of 3 editions of MEUZ, and probably you will see where we are going with our plans for the next edition. The best to start off is a video made by the European Commission, who provided us also with a live stream, so we had our parliament streamed online. People in 14 countries watched that, and you could also, because you just need to go online, but I will show you later. Now you saw a video made by the European Commission for our project, as they were the partners also. This is the overall partnership agreements, or the patrons overview of our conference. We had the patronage of the European Parliament, we had the patronage of the President of the Republic of Croatia, support of 3 Croatian ministries, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Economy, Ministry of Science, Education and Sports. We had the support of 12 NGOs from around Europe. We had the support of the European Commission and the European Parliament Information Office in Croatia, and many others that I didn't mention, also the Faculty of Economics and Business and Faculty of Political Science, etc. So we kind of built a brand around Model European Union this year. So for the introduction, what is it about? You all saw people voting, people discussing issues. This is the simulation of the decision-making process within the European Union for the legal people here who will understand ordinary legislative procedure is the joint adoption of legal documents by the European Parliament and the European Commission. And we are doing this in 4 days with students and young professionals. This whole concept comes from MEUZ Strasbourg. For 9 years in a row, it's taking place at the European Parliament in Strasbourg, where I was 2 years ago. And there is more than 15 MEUs around Europe. One interesting thing, we managed to lobby 10 organizers. This year, in 1 month, we are organizing a sort of MEU symposium discussing the concept in Split, where we are assisting the German organization organizing MEU Strasbourg. MEU Zagreb had 3 editions so far. We had the first simulation was just for law students. There was just 46 students, just a local dimension, local students debate. Then we, in 2014, were added to the team, to the content team. We managed to have 54 people with 17 people from abroad, and we won the Charlemagne Youth Prize awarded by the Parliament for the best youth project in Croatia. And then MEUZ 2015 built up the whole overview of the project, where we managed to get also the support of all 11 members of the European Parliament. 5 of them gave the video support to our conference, 3 of them attended the conference. So we managed to enlarge the project, as you can see, 100 people from 12 states of Europe, 12 European states. 10 of them being the members of the European Union and 2 of them not, or just candidate countries. There is a 4-day conference, full-day program, and the program is made by us, and the young professionals or students are playing the game. Important aspects of the organizing team. Organizing team is divided into teams. Each team has specific tasks to do, and we are coordinating DG and DDG. We are coordinating their work, and each of us had sort of dimension to follow. Fundraising, the most important part. These 2 projects, the first 2 editions had problems with financing, as many other youth projects in Croatia. And for this one, for this year's, we managed to get 27,000 euros from the Commission Erasmus Plus program. One important aspect in this fundraising is partners. I mentioned 12 partners in 11 countries. We managed to get them on board for the Erasmus Plus application, as the money you get from the Erasmus Plus is also significantly added by the partners you have in the countries you have, transport costs and everything. Institutional support and branding, we managed to build sort of a brand. We still need to use it in media, but yeah, we have something to work on next year. Logistics, everything for these 100 participants, we needed to arrange the logistics for them. Simulation concept, you all saw the video, so it's not needed to discuss too much. Ordinary legislative procedure, they are playing roles of ministers, MEPs, lobbyists and journalists. Each of them has their goals during the simulation and a role to play. Journalists have the blog, and the newspapers. Lobbyists have their way of influencing the exhibitions or certain interviews or lobbying in the lobby. And we also prepared commissioners, 2 commissioners who acted as commissioners and were legal service for all our participants. They could address them with questions. Also, we arranged workshops because we want experts also at our conference. And the first day of the conference, we had the experts on single-member private liability company and regulation of conflict minerals. As we are working on the real proposals of the Commission, we are using the real proposals, and we need real experts on these topics to present, and our participants can ask them first day if they have certain issues with the topic. And also public speaking, we are encouraging them to speak more by showing their framework how to perform their speech. Also, this year we had a conference within the conference, as we arranged a structured dialogue with 3 Croatian MEPs. 5 of them should have came, but only 3 came. But we discussed TTIP, migration, Ukraine crisis, sustainable development, circular economy. Discussions were very good, and our participants had a very nice feedback afterwards. And the goal of this simulation from the participant side is to amend, advocate, or delete clauses either from the Commission's proposal, as this will be understandable for all disciplines present here. So this is the preparation guide. As I told, we are doing the ordinary legislative procedure. It kind of looks complicated, but it's really easy when you see it in practice. Debate, try to get your interest within the document, the final document. What is in the final document? These interests are included. And we have Commissioner starting, presenting in each case, and this is done in the same way. In the same time, the Commissioner for Trade is in the Council, the Commissioner for Internal Market is in the Parliament, and they switch next day. And the same time, and we are following the procedure all the time. So now I will just have a brief overview of the organizing part. I sort of mentioned something before, the Erasmus Plus, the new program this year. When we started writing it, the DG wrote the application. I was doing the partners, as in one moment I had 20 NGOs from 20 European countries. I wanted all of them on board, but I couldn't get them all in 4 days. So we got 12, but then it was also enough in the end. So in order to have the Erasmus Plus granted, you need partners, you need the timeline of the project, the description of the project, clear goals of the project, and later you need to evaluate the goals and the objectives that you set, how to quantify them, and how to get the results to present to the agency. And we got the K1 component of the Erasmus Plus is the structured dialogue with decision makers, and then we managed to get 3 MEPs to the conference. And there was a possibility to receive funding from other entities, but it's kind of a problem in Croatia. The next aspect, the very important aspect, is the content team. The whole content is prepared by them. This year I coordinated the work with the head of the content team. This is the selection of topics, the most actual topics that can take on the political arguments, moral arguments, economic arguments, or pragmatic approach. And we are trying to balance those, and you saw the topics before. Also, they act as commissioners, and they also they make the concepts for lectures and guest speakers. So each speaker who came to the opening ceremony had basically we told them what to speak about. And the protocol for the ceremony. PR, of course, they are doing the press releases, media relations, ensuring the visibility of the conference in media, because if something is not in the media, it didn't happen. Then we have the logistics. This is the most important part in the end for the participants, the accommodation and every other aspect, even insurance, because Erasmus Plus wants us to insure all the participants all the time. And the social program, of course, is an important part of networking at this conference. And we have the partners coordination. Because of the Erasmus, you have the clear what you said you will do, you have to do. So if you said you will you'll have 5 participants from some country, you have to have 5 participants because you pay penalties later. So all the time you know that people cancel 2 weeks before the conference, and then you have to find a person not to pay penalties. So we needed partners coordination and to go all the time be in coordination with them to find some participants additional. And the participants coordination, lobbyists, journalists, we had the preparation guides for all participants, MEPs, ministers, lobbyists and journalists. We had professional coordinators who guided them throughout the simulation. And the conclusion, the evolution of MEUZ in 3 years is significant, especially the coordination and cooperation, because we are beginning to cooperate more, to divide tasks, to know who is doing what, because when something is on a voluntary basis, if you don't have time, there is a clash of priorities, you'll more likely study than do something if you have to. And then we managed to develop this dedication, awareness of a common goal. Hey, we want to have 11 MEPs to support it, let's do it, and then we do it, and then we publish in our group that reinforces the motivation of all our people within the organization. And then we were doing the continuous reporting on successes. Let's do this, let's have this goal, let's find this. Professionalization, strictly divided tasks. This year we'll probably just do the guide for the organizing team. And professional behavior, if I act professionally, you should also. Responsibility among the highest values within the team. And thinking ahead and predicting issues, which is kind of my professional formation. I try to think ahead and predict issues with this simulation, as I have this experience from other simulations and I saw what went wrong, what was good. So this is also good to say to other participants, to other organizers. Building reputation, this is also one goal besides the media relations. Try to make a relation with the institutions in Croatia, because we waited 2 months for the answer from the foreign ministry for their support, and I had to make, I don't know, numerous calls. My phone account is running low, therefore. But we wanted to have the image of the project and long-term branding, because this year we also invited all the embassies of the members of the European Union and the participants we had. Only 2 came, but 2 is also a good number. Next year, maybe more, because they got the invitation this year. The second time, maybe they will, okay, maybe now it's time to come. And we were trying to brand ourselves as Youth for Youth. We are not anymore students. We started as students, but now with Erasmus Plus, we are youth, took the money from the fund to sort of help other youth to develop their skills, to network, to achieve, to gain knowledge, experience, and whatever it takes. And media relations, we are still a young project. We didn't have the professionals who will lead the PR campaign. We were learning by doing, as the European Union is always doing. And it's really hard to achieve media visibility, because it's simply, if there is no minister or minister deputy, it's really hard to get someone at the conference other than TV student or radio student. And the improvement needs to be done in this aspect, probably soon, because next year's conference has to be better than this one. So, and this is me soon ending this position. Also, I wanted to say that MEUZ was held from 5th to 9th of May this year, and ended on the 9th of May for Europe Days. And a Europe Day was within the official program of the Europe Day for EPU Zagreb and for the Commission, and which was very successful, because on the Europe Day we had 3 MEPs coming. They had probably other events to go, but they came to us and were around 1 hour with our participants. So this means something, and this was on Saturday. So thank you very much, and if you have questions, feel free to ask.